Welcome, Bridge the World. My name is Hideyuki Yoshioka. In this program, I invite some guest professionals who's working in cross-cultural situations, and I ask them to share their perspectives, insight, suggestion, how to work very well in diverse working community. And this time, my guest is Stefan Nüsperling.
Thank you very much for having me here. Thank you. I'm really excited.
He's a German guy, and he's very talented and passionate facilitator, change agent, and he's been my business partner for some years, and he's a very good friend still now.
Yes, thank you. So. Yes, absolutely.
So thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me here. Really excited to be in the program.
Me too. Yeah. So today we'd like to talk about lots of things, but first of all, I would like to talk about yourself, your background, your expertise, your experience. Okay.
Yeah, like you said, so I'm from Germany. I came to Japan the first time in 2008 on an internship. So basically, I'm from IT. So I studied media and computing, and it was required to do a foreign internship.
I see.
And I wanted to do an internship not in Europe, which is, I know it's very similar to Germany, so I wanted to go somewhere very different. And I did judo for 11 years. So my sensei, he was Japanese, so I was always fascinated by Japan. And then I got opportunity and came to Japan, and half a year was not enough. So I really loved it here, the food, the culture, the weather is much better. So finished my studies, worked a little bit in market research in Germany, and then moved to Japan. I got a company there where I could work. Basically, my partner company of the company was working in Berlin. It was market research about eye tracking. And then that was my second time in Japan, 3.5 years about. But the language was an issue, and me and my wife at the time decided to move back to Berlin. But quickly we decided we want to come back to Japan. So we made out a plan, and so after a couple of years in Berlin, I got a training program, executive training program, where a language course was included. So at Waseda University, actually. And
Japanese language.
Yes, Japanese language. So I wanted to improve my Japanese, which I think is really crucial to make business in Japan.
And now you are very fluent in Japanese.
I try to. There's still a lot of words, and I don't know, but I do my best, and it opens a lot of doors when you know Japanese. And to make the long story short, and I got in touch with Agile also during the time in Berlin, and when I then was in Japan, I did again an internship in the same company for this program. And the Shacho, I went with him to Berlin, and he saw the previous company where everything was on transparent on the whiteboards, and he was like, "Wow, he wants to have this in his company."
All right.
So then we three of us, we went to Berlin for taking the Management 3.0 workshop. And this totally changed my mind, because at that time I thought management is kind of old style management. The top-down micromanagement is the normal approach, but this one is very different. This is like engaging people, involving the people, and that really spoke to my heart. And then went back to Japan, to the company, and started to implementing this as an agile transformation coach. And it was the first time when I also did workshops. So, for example, one issue at the company was communication.
I see.
So, but then we did a workshop. Where we asked them, what makes you happy at work? And then they wrote on Post-its, and everybody got really excited, and a lot of communication happened. So then I thought, oh, this is the power of facilitation, and I really like it, and I can bring something positive into the company with that. So And then when the project was over, I researched a little bit, and there was no Management 3.0 facilitator at the time in Japan.
I see.
So, and I thought, this is such a great thing and so helpful for Japanese companies, because I worked in a Japanese company, and there's a lot of unhappiness, or they work very hard and not efficient and things like that. So that I wanted at least a little bit to change with Management 3.0. So I started my company NüWorks in 2016, and still have it until nowadays. And now we have around 25 Management 3.0 facilitators in Japan. So it's a really nice community, and yeah, I can see a little bit of change. And yeah, during the years, I did also other things, like with you, we did spot-on facilitation workshops. I do also lean change management workshops, team building workshops. So basically, yeah, change and well-being is my main topic. Ikigai also, yeah. So that's my little story until now.
Thank you for sharing. So about your background, we need to mention about Management 3.0. It's very key point of your expertise. I used to be a licensed facilitator of Management 3.0. I'm not now. You are the first licensed Management 3.0 facilitator in Japan. You are kind of mastermind.
I wouldn't say that.
Or in Japan. So please tell me more about Management 3.0. So can you share something unique method of Management 3.0?
Yeah, so I think that the core thing about Management 3.0, it's based in positive psychology. So the newest book of Jorgen Appello, who created Management 3.0, he's a Dutch guy. He called his book "Managing for Happiness." And I think that says it all. So to create a management way or organization which is effective, but which is also engaging people, and which is creating happiness and well-being to the employees, to the customer. And to the society. I think that's very important, because we spend so much time at work in our life, and if it's not fun, if it's not a good time, then I think it's a lose-lose situation for the company, because you might be not so productive because your motivation is not so high, and also for the people, of course. And also, it's based in complexity thinking, complexity science. And I think we're living in a complex world, and it's very important to think about complexity and approaching it with an agile way of management. So that's why it's also called agile leadership. And so it uses a lot of games. So gamification is one key point. So for example, Moving Motivators is a card game. Moving Motivators, yeah. It's a card game for to talk about your motivation and each other's motivation. So it's a communication tool, and even it's a card game. It is the foundations behind it are very, very deep. So it's rooted in several models, and when I do the workshops, I see the people, they are really open up, they're talking, and it's always getting excited, because usually when I ask what is your motivation, and it's difficult to answer, but with this game, it becomes very very easy. And there are a lot of them, for example, also delegation poker and big values lists, so a lot of tools. It's like a toolbox, but it's not a framework, so you can use it and adapt it to your own context. I think that's the power of it.
I see. So for me, what attracted me about Management 3.0 is the way to think for the change management, leadership development. Because we used to think in order to make management better, we were trying to train personnel, managers. We keep managers, personnel, with high management skill, but basic notion of Management 3.0 is instead of training personnel, so we going to adapt system. We try to make system manage.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's very quite unique and very effective, I think.
Manage the system, not the people.
Yeah.
So stop this micromanagement approach.
I see.
And leave the micromanagement to the teams. So they can do a lot of management by themselves, and everybody can be a manager. A lot of management tasks can be delegated. So that doesn't mean that the manager is not necessary. The manager more becomes like a gardener.
Gardener.
Yes, we sometimes use this metaphor. So the organization is a garden, the manager or the leader is a gardener. So and you can't control or you can't pull the plant to grow faster, but you can add water, nutrition, can take out the weeds, and that way you can create a beautiful garden where the insects and birds and everybody is benefiting. So all stakeholders are benefiting in a healthy way.
ね、もう庭師のようにもう育つ環境を作る。in Japanese.
Yes.
I agree with that. Yeah. So well, let's talk about another topic, cultural things. So, how many years have you working in Japan? Almost.
So it's my third time, so 14 years.
Yes. 14 years, yeah, so, very long.
Yeah, so now it's 10 years since I came the third time, yeah.
So you are very familiar with Japanese culture, and you love Japanese culture. Now you are more like Japanese rather than German. But as a German, how do you observe Japanese culture, particularly Japanese communication style, the way to behave in terms of culture? How do you observe? I would like to share your honest observation about Japanese culture.
Well, there are so many things to it, right?
I see.
Yeah. So about communication, of course. So the first thing you realize is a very, very polite, very not very direct, very very calm. So I think these are things which are which are a little bit similar to German.
Many people point out very similar.
So we are a little bit. So Japanese are sometimes a little bit shy. Germans also not super outgoing, so not like other cultures. I think that's similar. A difference probably is in the directness. So Germans say their opinion directly or seeking the conflict sometimes.
I think so.
if they think it's necessary. So it's a total normal thing in German company that you're trained from education that you should always question the status quo, and criticizing is a very well used thing, and that's totally different in Japan. I think Michael McCoy mentioned it. So critical thinking is a little bit not so common in Japan, and that's a big difference. And I think that's somewhere we can learn from each other, because Germans criticize too much sometimes,
I agree that many people point out Japanese and Germans very similar. When I talk with you, I always be, Stefan is like a Japanese. I say I am more like American. I'm very outspoken person.
Yes,
you're more like Japanese.
You're not a typical Japanese, I would say.
So, what do you love the most about Japan?
I think most is difficult to say, but I would say
lots of things.
A lot of things. Definitely food. The food is amazing, and I mean the variety of the food. So every restaurant even is different. Even if you have the same food, I mean the typical example is the ramen. Every ramen shop is different. Even if it's miso ramen, it's a different one, and the little thing is different. So this I really loved. I really have this monotsukuri, this proud of creating food and respecting food. I think that's a really great thing, and not food wasting is also a really great thing. Mottainai, it even made it to the world, right? I think it's a brilliant word for not wasting things. And then, yeah, of course, the culture, the rich culture with a lot of old still, the Buddhism, Shintoism. I think the spirituality is amazing. In Germany, we got to. We forgot a lot about these things. We became too logic, too modern. In Japan, there's still a kind of mystic thing. They still believe in ghosts, right? And I really love that. So that there's this belief that there are some spirits on certain places, even in the toilets sometimes. So that's why you have to clean it once a year, right?
Yes.
To keep the spirit there happy. I think that's beautiful.
Yes.
Not to be able to explain everything logical, that also there's something mystical, and that's I wish to have also in Germany more. And then of course, yeah, the people is. It's the communities. There are a lot of communities in Tokyo active. I'm in a few of them. Of course, Management 3.0, Agile, but also music community. I'm doing also music. I mean, you also are a musician, right? So you also do Zumba, right? There's also Zumba communities. There's all kind of things going on. So yeah, collectivism is really nice. I really like that.
So what's the point? I don't say you don't like. What's the point you are still not used about Japan? まだ馴染めてない。
Yeah, I would say so. Or sometimes it's people are lacking a little bit of internationality. Diversity. I mean, in Europe we have many countries around us. It's totally normal to go to different countries and see different cultures, and people are coming. I speak to many Japanese, and I'm sometimes surprised. So a lot of them never went abroad. Not like you. You travel around Southeast Asia, America, and you have a lot of experience. And I think through traveling it opens your mind, and you can learn a lot of things. And yeah, this is sometimes a little bit missing for me to have this talking with people, to have this kind of international experience.
I see. So you have lots of experience to facilitate various kind of groups, and when you facilitate Japanese dominant group, and when you facilitate cross-cultural groups, which sometimes includes Japanese, which includes all non-Japanese, between them, your approach is different. So if it's different, how different?
You mean when you have foreigners or Japanese?
Yes.
So when it's Japanese, I'll try to explain more, and especially when it comes to exercises or some exercises. Then if I have Japanese group, then I'll explain more in detail what is expected. When it's a foreigner group, then it's more rough. I can just explain roughly, and then foreigners just fill the gaps by themselves and adapt it by themselves. But the Japanese really need clear instructions. And also so I said before, complexity is one part of Agile or Management 3.0 or Lean Change Management 2. So for complexity is a well-known concept in the West, but in Japan a lot of people still struggle with that. So I spend more time on that part usually because it's very, very important as a foundation for all the models we have.
So which is likely to be nervous when you facilitate all Japanese dominant group and when you facilitate foreign people group?
Foreigner people.
Really?
Yeah, because I mostly do. I would say 90% I'm facilitating or 80% for Japanese. So I'm not so used to foreign groups.
Oh.
And as I said before, they're more. They're bigger critics, so they ask sometimes more tough questions. And
Japanese don't try to tough question.
yeah, they're always really polite, and I mean, it's not bad to ask tough questions because that triggers good conversations, and I'm not afraid of that. But as I'm mostly of Japanese, I'm sometimes surprised. Oh wow, yeah, that's a good question. So yeah, I don't hear this often in my Japanese workshops.
I see. Okay, so in Japan, we used to believe we must be more globalized. In our history, in the couple of decades, we have been very passionate to be globalized. I guess you have heard of the Japanese word global jinzai ikuse.
Yeah.
It means global talent management. Yeah, I remember during 2010 and 2020, it was big momentum for Japanese for globalization. Many companies have been passionate to train their employees to be globalized. But mostly it turns out to be the English conversation capability training, business 英会話 training. and at that time, we were working together as a sport trainer. It's about the licensed workshop trainer or facilitation conducted in English. I adapted that training as the training for Japanese to be globalized. In Japanese, グローバル人材育成のためのトレーニング。
So you think we were successful a little bit?
Yeah, I expected much more success. But it turned out to be less successful than I expected.
But I think some of the participants they changed, right? They became more globalized facilitator and
Yes. When it comes to participants who joined this workshop, they really achieved.
Yeah, right.
We see they very dramatically grow.
Yeah.
It was very
I think so too.
Our mutual accomplishment. But when it comes to how to collect people,
that's
it was very tough. It was very tough.
Yeah.
So I called on my friends, my community, my acquaintances.
But I think it's also because people are not so much investing in trainings than other countries. So I went, for example, to Singapore. There, every citizen gets a budget per year for joining trainings, and I think it's a little bit lower in Japan. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. It's partially it's true, but meanwhile they invested much on business 英会話 training, English conversational skill training. Many companies investment on business 英会話 training. Meanwhile, they don't invest on the facilitation training using English. And when I called my friends, why don't we join this workshop? You usually working using English, so it's very good chance for you to train your communication skill using English to join facilitation workshop conducted in English. So they say, oh, no. I'm not ready. You actually working using in English. No.
That's also an interesting thing. Sometimes Japanese are shy and not confident.
Right.
So when you go to, so I had this experience joining this executive training program in Waseda University, and then we also had mixed with Japanese group, and then I still remember the facilitator or teacher at the time asked, we asked who from the Japanese group who thinks you are good at English, and nobody said. And in the foreigner group, who thinks he was really good at English, and then like 90% raised their hands. Even the Japanese group, people that could really speak good English, but they didn't feel so confident. Also, they don't want to show off. So I think that's something maybe also can learn from each other. So just do it. It's good to make failures. Failures is an opportunity to grow. So
yes. I think that psychological barrier is the issue to prevent us from being globalized. So, as non-Japanese, how do you think we should change, improve that, or how we can get rid of that psychological barrier?
Basically Yuki. Bravery. Yeah, just be brave, and of course when you think about the company context, then like I think also Michael McCoy said it, create a psychological safety environment. So basically you can do this with different things by creating team agreements to create this psychological safety, or by basically talking to each other using gamification, and then people then become more confident naturally. I think games are a really good tool for that. It sounds like fun or just playing, but of course it's fun. But as I said, the foundations behind the games are really deep. And with these games, for example, Personal Map, also a tool for Management 3.0, people can, in a playful way, gaining more confidence, and that's I think one way you could do. So I joined this year, last year, Play 14 in Malaysia and Singapore, and this is a conference, unconference about gamification, and I really loved this. I learned so much, and it was so high energy. I think bringing energy into the room is very important for organizations, and from this energy then the growth happens. I could see this a lot.
I see. Thank you. So I'd like to hear your story again. You have lots of experience. You have been working for a long time in Japan, but you are still in the middle of your whole career story. So, when you look further in your future career, where are you now?
That's an interesting question. So, I would say I'm on the pathway of it's a little bit similar to Management 3.0 and Unfix. So Management 3.0, maybe, I don't know if you heard about it, but so Jürgen Appello, he left Management 3.0 for a couple of years, did different things, did Unfix. Unfix is also a great framework about organizational development and how to structure the organization. It's a pattern language, so you can use many patterns, you can visualize the organization. And so I always saw me as an ambassador for bringing new tools from the West to Japan, like Management 3.0. I was the first one. I was the first one with lean change management. Then Unfix also I brought here and did a little bit. And so kind of a brand ambassador. I don't know how to call it, evangelist about new things. So and I still want to continue that. So Management 3.0 now merged with Unfix. So and Jürgen Appello came back, and they now call it M3K. The K stands for 1000, so M3000 until the year 3000. It should be a kind of valid method. That's the idea behind it. So there are a lot of things changing. There will be coming a lot of new modules, books in planning. So that is quite exciting. So that's also, I want also to shift a little bit now to give me a new challenge. So not working only in Japan or only for Japanese companies. I do a lot of for Japanese companies, but also now going a little bit out of Japan, Southeast Asia. I found very interesting to work with clients there. There's a lot of energy going on in Malaysia, for example, or Vietnam. Growing economies, a lot of startups, very interesting companies, but also within Japan, looking to meet more gaishkei foreign companies and work with them. So that's a little bit the kind of path I'm looking forward now, and also continue to bring new stuff to Japan. So I have a friend, Erdal Achlachi. He's my former boss, and he makes his own company called Agile OS. And this is a software for visualizing the organization and using the skill matrix to create teams based on their skills, so that you have the perfect team matching for what you need. And this is also quite exciting software. And this kind. I want to always to try out new things and learn new things. Curiosity is an important thing, and I think it came up in your program a couple of times. I mean, we all curious people, right? And that's companies need to be curious too. Somebody said it before, and I think that's what I want to do. It's challenging. What about you?
Lots of things. So in your future career, do you have any specific goal or big dream you would like to achieve?
Well, I partly achieved it, but the next big goal is living in Okinawa, maybe, or I always said that, but no. I mean, I want just to continue helping companies to strive and grow and creating better working environments through what I do. I think that's my ongoing goal. So it's I'll never had this. I have to achieve this goal or that. For me, it's always a path. It's always an ongoing thing. Change is always happening. There's nothing which I specifically aim for, but for me the goal is the path. So I want to continue this path and enjoy it, and creating all enjoyment through the work I do. I think that's my goal.
Everything's ongoing.
Exactly.
Working. Okay, all right. Thank you. So my last question is, we like to get back to culture topic. This podcast title is Bridge the World. It means bridge the culture, bridge the difference. I think basic role of facilitator is kind of bridge between difference. So particularly I'm very conscious how to bridge the culture difference. So, and I think we professional have a mission to bridge the culture, particularly for us who working in very cross-cultural situation. What do you think is a very important role for professional like us to make people work together in very diverse working situation by bridging culture, bridging the world?
Yeah, I mean, I think through our good facilitation.
Of course.
Yeah, I believe that that through our workshops or through team building workshops or whatever workshops, I think we now coming into, or we're in the age of AI, right? And AI is improving so fast, and already we can do a lot of tasks without using humans anymore.
Yeah.
And it becomes more and more, and the robots also not so far away. So I think the human connections becoming more and more important. It's what has distinguished us from the AI. So we need to leverage that more and more. That's why I think these workshops are so very good for that, because especially when you have them in person, the conversations you have, they bring people more together. They create understanding. They create learning, and they create teams. And yeah, team building is the key for high performing teams. And that's I think that's the biggest value, even besides the content of the workshop, which is also really important. But these connections, these interactions, these are really the power of the workshop. I mean, we also sometimes join workshops, right, to learn new things, and I always just enjoy the time. It's great. You have meaningful conversations, you learn together, you have fun together, and so it's so good in many ways. Yeah. And that's, I think, bridging the world. If you have the workshop with different nationalities, then that's a wonderful thing.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Stefan. It was very interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The time really passed so quickly.
I was very relaxed to talk with you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this dialogue with Hida and me. My name is Stefan Nüsperling. My mission is to create more well-being and positive change in organizations and in this world. I do this through facilitation of team building, management 3.0, Unfix, lean change management, Ikigai, and through Agile OS and many other things. So reach out to me and let's create better organizations, better teams, high-performing teams. And you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, or you can just search me there, Stefan Nüsperling, or the link in the description. Thank you very much.